sustainability, animal welfare, environmental responsibility, safe food, food security. Who would have ever thought all these issues would be involved in the simple decision to buy eggs? Yet today they are. As today's consumers become more interested in where their food comes from, and food producers respond, the way eggs are produced is receiving more and more scrutiny. Pressure from activist groups on all parts of the egg supply chain are driving discussions that could fundamentally change how eggs are produced in the United States. Yet today in the United States, commercial-scale holistic research on sustainable egg production is lacking, and what does exist is often contradictory. Recognizing this need for more research, a multi-stakeholder group created the Coalition for Sustainable Egg Supply. Its members include leading research institutions, non-governmental organizations, egg suppliers, food manufacturers, restaurants, food service, and food retail companies. The Coalition is sponsoring a commercial-scale scientific study of egg-laying hen housing types across the full spectrum of sustainability areas. This first-of-its-kind research explores the interdependencies and the trade-offs that come with various housing choices. Ultimately, this holistic study will result in meaningful, science-based data to guide future egg production and purchasing decisions. The research team is led by Michigan State University and the University of California, Davis, with participating research institutions, Iowa State University, USDA Agricultural Research Service, as well as Cargill Kitchen Solutions. Advisors include the American Humane Association, American Veterinary Medical Association, the Environmental Defense Fund, and Purdue University. The research will evaluate 3 types of hen housing on 5 elements of sustainability: food safety, worker safety, hen health and well-being, environmental impact, and food affordability. The Coalition study is being conducted in laying houses built to U.S. commercial production scale. Each house will have the capacity for at least 50,000 laying hens and will use commercially available equipment and furnishings. The 3 housing systems being studied are located on one site, using genetics, equipment, and management systems typical of commercial egg production in the U.S. The first research flocks were placed in April 2011. The research will be replicated over 2 flocks and is expected to be completed in 2014. The 3 types of hen housing systems being evaluated are conventional cage system, which provide the vast majority of eggs in the U.S. today, enriched colony system, also called furnished colony housing, which includes nests and perches, and cage-free aviary, which is an indoor non-cage system. Let's go inside and take a closer look at each housing system. This is a conventional cage system. In the 1950s, cage systems were introduced to protect flocks from weather, predators, and disease. Cages also improved sanitation and allowed for more efficient production. It has evolved as a cost-effective and safe egg production system. Today, about 95% of eggs are produced in this type of housing in the U.S. In conventional cages, hens have access to feed and water at all times. They are able to move about within the cage. These cages hold 6 hens per cage. Hens lay their eggs on the wire floor of the cage, which slopes gently to roll the freshly laid egg onto an egg collection belt. Eggs move to the end of the house, where they transfer to a larger conveyor system, which ultimately delivers them to the egg processing area. Farm workers walk the house several times a day to see that feeders and waterers are operating correctly, and to check on the well-being of the hens. The hen's manure falls through the floor of the cage onto a removal belt. On a regular basis, the belt carries the manure out of the house to a separate manure storage area. The environment inside the house is managed through a computerized heating and ventilation system. Fans automatically come on as needed to maintain optimal temperature and humidity for the hens. The enriched colony system, also known as furnished cages or colonies, was developed in Europe. As in conventional cages, hens have free access to feed and water. However, the enriched colony housing provides a larger space that is equipped with perches, nesting areas, and a surface and material designed to facilitate foraging and dust bathing behaviors. In this study, each enriched colony contains 60 hens. Similar to conventional cages, eggs roll onto a collection belt and are conveyed to the egg processing area. Manure is handled similarly to conventional cages as well. Labor requirements and worker tasks are also much the same. The cage-free aviary or non-cage system allows the hens to roam through defined sectors of a building. Unlike the other two housing systems, the aviary system provides open floor space as well as multiple levels so hens can move up and down. Hens can forage and dust bathe in the open area and move up to nest boxes on the upper level and to feed and water. Caring for the hens differs in the cage-free aviary system. Checking on hens is more labor-intensive due to the design. While nest boxes are provided, hens also lay eggs in the feeding and watering area or on the floor, requiring workers to manually collect these eggs. Manure handling is different in the cage-free system. Mechanized belts remove manure from under the nesting and feeding areas as in the other systems, but in the aviary, bedding the floor increases labor as well as the volume of material that must be removed. Because of the space required for furnishings, an enriched colony system requires more than twice as much space to produce the same numbers of eggs as a conventional cage system. Likewise, cage-free housing produces fewer eggs on the same footprint, requiring more than 3 times as much space as conventional cages. While the physical attributes of each system are easy to see, what is not well understood is the potential difference in food safety, environmental impact, worker health and safety, food affordability, and even hen health and well-being across the 3 systems. That's why the CSES study is evaluating each of the housing types on the 5 attributes of a truly sustainable egg supply. The food safety research is being conducted by the USDA's Agriculture Research Service and Michigan State University. Eggs, housing, and the processing facilities are analyzed for the presence of salmonella and other enteric microorganisms to determine the effects of housing and processing on egg microbiology. ARS researchers are comparing both egg quality and egg safety in each of the 3 housing types. They compare egg quality by examining exterior shell characteristics, such as shell thickness. They compare interior egg quality by examining membrane strength and elasticity. Finally, MSU researchers evaluate egg safety by measuring bird response to the salmonella vaccination and by conducting microbiological evaluations of the housing systems and the eggs produced in each. The worker health and safety research is being conducted by the University of California at Davis and Cargill Kitchen Solutions. This research looks both at the respiratory health and musculoskeletal impact on workers in all 3 housing types. The respiratory health of workers and their individual exposure to particles, endotoxins, and ammonia is being measured. Researchers are testing workers before and after their shifts to determine short-term effects. And since each housing type requires different job tasks, researchers are characterizing the extent of musculoskeletal disorders and conducting an ergonomic analysis, comparing the various job tasks and their impact on workers. The environmental research covers a host of environmental impacts and is being conducted by the University of California, Davis and Iowa State University. This trailer, affectionately called Trudy by researchers, is actually a state-of-the-art mobile air emissions monitoring unit. It's equipped with gas analyzers, an air sampling control system, and a data system. Trudy helps researchers measure both the air quality inside the houses and the gaseous and particulate emissions from the houses. All of this is done continuously and in real time. Researchers are also collecting data on emissions from manure storage. They are also measuring the amount of manure produced by each system and analyzing its characteristics such as moisture, pH, and ammonia content. All of this environmental data, together with climatic conditions and other farm-related information, will help scientists build farm emission models and contribute to determining the environmental footprint for different egg production systems. The hen health and well-being research is being conducted by Michigan State University and the University of California, Davis. A major hen welfare question is the extent to which the resources in enriched colonies and aviaries are actually used by hens. To help answer that question, more than 300 cameras were installed in the enriched colony house and the aviary. The videotape allows researchers to collect behavioral observations. These observations provide information on how hens use the space and resources in the different housing systems. Researchers will also measure hen welfare using a standardized, performance-based assessment of hens in each housing system. These include skeletal evaluations, stress measurements, and health evaluations. These data will allow researchers to measure the impact and potential trade-offs of housing systems on specific aspects of hen welfare. The food affordability research is being conducted by the University of California at Davis. This research evaluates the ways different production systems affect farm costs and ultimately the affordability of eggs, historically one of the more affordable sources of protein. For instance, labor, feed, and land and building costs are expected to vary by housing system. These farm costs affect the market prices for eggs and possibly consumer consumption. Data from the study will be used to estimate the impact on egg consumption in the U.S. and the implications for households with different incomes. The CSES Laying Hen Housing Research Project is a collaboration of government, academia, non-governmental organizations, egg producers, and the food industry working together to provide credible information on sustainable egg production. When complete, this groundbreaking research, the first of its kind study in scale, integration, and multi-system comparison, will provide the meaningful, science-based data needed to inform future production and purchasing decisions. For more information and updates on the research, please visit www.sustainableeggcoalition.org.